just go back to 2021. How fired up were you this time that year when the draft was approaching?
Yeah, I mean it's a really exciting time, especially when it's your year. You're the one who's kind of in a position to get drafted. A lot of nerves, not really knowing where life's going to take you. You can be kind of one in 32 cities, and most of them probably have never been to. So, but I definitely got lucky, got put with a good organization and a good city.
Hey, Walker, it's me. I know you were also in a very unique situation where you hadn't played during the COVID season. You were coming off of an injury. Although we don't have the COVID pandemic anymore, there's still plenty of prospects that are being looked at in this year's draft that are coming off of injury. What is that experience like, knowing that there are teams that maybe may judge you differently because of that experience?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's definitely a weird situation to be in. A lot of it was just having to, talk to teams through interviews and tell your story and explain kind of what your circumstances were. And so, I mean, it definitely was something that I wouldn't say I planned on having to deal with, but you just deal with it the best you can, be honest with them, and ultimately, like, they're going to choose you based on the player you were on tape. And so that will speak for itself.
Hey, Walker, clear something up for us. Have you been told you will start at right tackle, or are you going to compete with Cam at left tackle? And what are your thoughts about where you're starting this season?
Yeah, we haven't really talked at all about where guys are starting, where we're going to be placed, or anything like that. Right now, it's really just getting back with the team, figuring out the playbook again for some of the new guys, and for some of us who were here last year, just refreshing ourselves back on the playbook. And next week we'll be able to get on the field and start moving around a little more with the coaches, and just really just building a lot of camaraderie with the team right now is more so the focus.
We're talking with Walker Little, one of the starters for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's what we're presuming going into this season. So just whip out the crystal ball just for a second, Walker. And where do you feel like, in other words, you cross-trained at both positions, competed at right tackle, played very well at left tackle down the stretch. Your crystal ball, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I mean, I just want an opportunity to be able to play. I mean, I think that's what any player wants on our team, and I'll get that chance in training camp, and hopefully I can play well, improve myself, and earn a starting spot. But nothing's going to be given to anyone on this team. Everyone's going to have to go out there and earn their spot, especially anyone who gets to be one of the starters. So I'm just trying to focus on getting better myself and preparing myself for another long season, hopefully. And we're working towards having a end up in the Super Bowl, which would be a blessing for all of us.
A couple more for one of the voices of Kingfish Pest Control right here on 1010XL. What's the other one that you partner with? You do Atlantic Storage, right? Isn't that right, Walker?
Yes. Yeah.
I am shocked.
I do.
I am shocked this is the first time we're getting you on primetime. We're going to need to make sure that one of the voices of 1010XL is on here more often during the season. So we're going to hold you to that one. I am curious, for you, this will be your third year here in Jacksonville. I know you developed great relationships with the rest of that offensive line. Kind of a two-pronged question for you. Number one, emotions for you seeing Jawan depart. And then number two, how have you as a friend and as a teammate supported Cam and Ben in their recovery from those season-ending injuries?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough losing a teammate like Jawan, but that's kind of the best circumstances to lose a teammate. He got a really big contract with the Chiefs, and we're so happy for him, and he deserved every bit of it. He really worked hard. I mean, the whole time I was here, but especially last year, and just played really, really well. And we were all excited for that. And then in terms of Cam and Juwan, both of them are they'll be ready to go. They're going to be healthy, and it's a lot of just supporting them along their journey, but I'm just encouraging them. And I myself had a knee injury in college, so I've been able to kind of talk to Ben and talk to Cam, and but they're professionals. They'll be back. They're working hard, and we've no doubt they'll be ready to go.
So, Walker, speaking of that knee injury, in college you had the knee injury. You sat out the COVID season. You're starting to finally stack seasons one on top of each other now. Do you feel that continuity? Do you feel you're getting better with each season? And how much are you looking forward to this season, personally, as a player?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like I've been able to get better over the past 2 years. I think, like you said, just getting time on the field and just be able to stack reps and stack just just kind of the time on task of playing offensive line, and I feel like it's becoming more natural. It's just learning the NFL as well. It's a jump for sure, and I feel a lot more confident now. And I'm very excited for the season. I think we have a shot to really do something special this year. I think we have especially a really good offense. I know our defense is going to be really good as well. So I'm excited for it.
Walker, this is Coach Dave Campo. First of all, I really enjoyed watching you play this year. And, of course, I was in the Pac-12 as a consultant, so I saw you as a college player. Let me ask you this. We have Leon Searcy on the show, who was a all-pro, Pro Bowl player in the league for a number of years. And he says there's a big difference between a guy playing right tackle and left tackle. Can you tell the fans, is that true in your mind, or what are those differences?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's particular to the player. I think there's some players where it may come a little more natural to, and it just seems like they can kind of switch back and forth, and some guys might struggle a bit more with it. I feel like I've gotten so many reps, especially the past 2 years at both, that I feel pretty comfortable playing both sides at this point. But I mean, you may always have one side. I know for me, like I grew up playing left and played in college left, so that's always been kind of my home base. But I've worked really hard to make both feel really natural for me. And I think I've finally gotten to that point where playing right and playing left feels virtually the same.
And Walker, if you can you confirm to us, since I know obviously Doug and Coach Rauscher, they operate, want to get the best 5 offensive linemen on the field. Did you work out at all at guard last year during practice too?
Yeah, I took reps at guard. I think a lot of that too was just with figuring out. I mean, as you know, there's always injuries throughout the season, and so for me, being the swing tackle, they just want to be able to put the best 5, and so I was, preparing at guard just in case there was a situation where I was going to have to step in.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. It really is. All right, a couple more for Walker, a little on the lighthearted side. This one, kind of lighthearted. I want to know. I'm dying to know. When they told you were the second-round draft choice, who had the phone when they called you? Was it Urban or was it Trent? And give us an idea of how that went.
Yeah, I mean, so it was first one of the player personnel's, Ryan Stamper gave me the phone, and he passed it very quickly over to Urban. And so I talked to Urban first. And then I think from there I talked to Mr. Khan, Shad Khan. Nice. After that, I can't remember really if I talked to Trent. I'm sure I did, but I know for sure it was Urban first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now that we know it was Ryan that actually placed the call, I'm curious. Kind of take us behind the curtain, Walker. When you are obviously you were the number 1 overall recruit coming out of high school, and then when you are a projected day 1, day 2 draft pick. What is the process? Is there an area scout that starts meeting with you during your senior year? Is it that the teams themselves are contacting you? Who was really your point of contact for the Jaguars?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the Jaguars, I would say that I talked mostly at that time with Coach Warhop. And he was, I would say, probably my biggest point of contact. He was the O-line coach at the time. He would kind of text me and call me. And then I would talk to Stamper, who I had said was, part of the player personnel, and he would kind of question me, interview me just about kind of getting to know who I was. And then I talked to Urban probably 2 or 3 times. But that maybe wasn't the most normal route. I would say with a lot of teams, you talk more with the player personnel people most of the time, an offensive line coach, maybe a few times, and Urban was one of the few head coaches I really spoke to.
All right, so go to your Stanford days as we're wrapping up with Walker Little, and then no Cal food versus North Florida food, and
he's from Houston too. Don't forget.
Yeah, but that's
you got to get the Texas
that's Tex-Mex back in the day. I'm just talking Northern California, Northern Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely a lot different food. I mean, Northern California is a lot of salads, a lot of acai bowls, and a lot of fish tacos, but North Florida is definitely closer to kind of more of what I grew up on. A lot of good seafood and really a lot of variety of food though throughout Jacksonville, which like Mia was saying, in Houston was kind of what I was accustomed to.
And then your hobbies, like what is the one thing that you are loving to do now?
Well, before you go any further, Josie, I have a question about one of those hobbies I know Walker has.
Right.
I got to ask you, man. I saw the photo from the Jaguars Open or the Jaguar Major, the golf tournament that a bunch of you guys put together this weekend. Were you a part of it? Did you not play this weekend?
Yeah, I was a part of the planning. I didn't take part. I had to do a bunch of stuff just coming back home, working on my house, and ended up being a lot busier than anticipated, so I had to drop out. But I wish I could have played, but I know I'll get a chance to play with all those guys again. We're going to try to do something like that again soon. So it was really fun for those guys, and it's good talking to them.
What is your handicap as of right now, Walker?
Ooh, right now, I don't know, 15, 16. I haven't been playing as much as I'd like to, but usually right now is where we ramp it up most just because all the guys are kind of back in town and it's good weather. So we'll start playing a lot more and see if I can lower that down a little bit.
You don't need to. Just keep it right there. That'll fit perfectly for sure. Hey, listen, man, best of luck, continued success, and go get it. We know that the Jaguar fans are pretty fired up about what they're going to see coming up here in 23.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.